Hello, you're in my living room right now. Before we get into today's video, I just wanted to say a big thank you to everybody who's been welcoming so far and who's been leaving the wonderful comments and who's been tagging me like this video. I know YouTube sometimes gets a pretty bad rap. The comments are usually pretty bad and really volatile, but everybody has so far been super welcoming and super delightful, and it only just solidified my decision to do this channel. I'm trying to subscribe back to a lot of other booktubers. I'm trying to support everybody as best as I can. We're all a team here. We're all in this together. So again, thank you very much. Just know that you're heard, and it really means the world to me that you taken the time to look at my channel, to subscribe, and to say all these wonderful things to me. So thank you very much. Really appreciate it. But let's get all this positivity out of here, okay? The mood is dour. It's sour. I don't know what else I can rhyme. It's tagged by those book people. Go subscribe to them to do a annoyed booktuber tag. And I have, you're not going to believe this, a bunch of questions. And I've been trying to edit another video, but it seems as if my camera decided it didn't want to film some of the parts, so I've lost some footage, so I'm a very sour puss right now. So what perfect way to get into the mood than doing some of these questions of what annoys me, which, if I'm going to be honest, not a lot annoys me, so maybe this might not be as spicy of a video as some of you might expect it to be, but I'm going to offer some critiques, perhaps some criticisms, hopefully level-headed as I try to be. I'm not really a person that seeks out drama. That's not what I'm here for. I'm just here to have a good time, but that doesn't mean that I don't have some opinions. I don't have some critiques. I don't because I do. I'm a human being. There are things that I don't really care for. So before we start, I don't anticipate me offending anybody, but if this strikes a chord with some of y'all, please don't take any offense to it. It's nothing personal. These are just my opinions too. Please don't be mean. All right. So question number 1 asks, do publishers ever do things you find annoying? I will say the chasing trends thing is a touch annoying. And what I mean by that is when a book becomes super successful, every publisher is going to try to replicate the success of that book. I've said this before that I love a good story, and a good story is what will sell. It's maybe genre might have something to do with it, but ultimately the contents of the story, the character of the story, the character of a person, is what sells a book, in my opinion. But obviously, publishers know what they're doing. It's a business. They've been doing this for many, many years. But it does feel a little algorithmic that we're trying to duplicate something and we are pushing aside anything else that could be successful for what's hot right now. And that is a little annoying. So there's a lot of authors who are just as talented, who hit all the right notes. And, as somebody who's done the querying process, it's stressful and it's really frustrating when you see, and it's not even just publishers too, but sometimes it's agents. Agents will have specific tastes that they want. I want Game of Thrones in space, but there's dinosaurs. Everybody's a dinosaur in this world. What? I'm being hyperbolic, but sometimes it does feel that way. And it's hard because, we have tastes, and sometimes we're looking for something in particular to scratch an itch. I don't know. I'm getting off on a tangent here. Ultimately, I would answer this by saying, I don't like when publishers try to duplicate success of something by filling certain boxes when everything else around there, which is just as good and is providing a bit of variety in the industry, gets overlooked. I don't like that. Number 2 asks, have you ever been annoyed by a spoiler, even something as simple as someone telling you a book has a great twist? So yes, that is kind of annoying because by telling me there's a twist in a book, I'm already looking for clues. I'm already I'm on the hunt. Where is it? Where is the clue? That's why I don't like very verbose reviews sometimes, just give me a Kirkus Star review, like a paragraph will suffice. I don't need an essay. But it's hard because, we're excited to have read the thing and we want to share it with the world and we want to be like, oh my God, did you read this thing? It's so wonderful. You have to read it. But, some of us haven't read it yet and we're curious to read it. My husband one time was guilty of this. Spoilers for Great Expectations. But I told him that I was reading the book. And he said, "Isn't that the book with the kid who finds the escaped prisoner and the prisoner's like got a secret trust for him?" And I said, "Well, I haven't discovered that yet, but yes, that is the book." I love him very much. He means well, and it's an over 200-year book. I shouldn't be angry about spoilers for that. Question 3 asks, have you ever been annoyed by what you found in a little free library or a used bookstore? Not really. I'm kind of guilty of not going to the library as much as I should, or a used bookstore. There might be, there might be one a little south of me, but I've only been to that one once, and I actually found a pretty cool art book in there. But no, I don't really have any experience in this. Question 4 asks, when it comes to short story collections, are you annoyed if there's a novella in the middle of the collection? I wouldn't say I'm annoyed, but it is a little inconsistent. I think maybe if it's choreographed in the book well enough, like maybe if you start off with the short stories and then end with a novella, that's one way of doing it. It is a little like starting off with a novella and then finishing off with short stories. I don't really know how they're edited these days. So pardon me if I don't really know what I'm talking about. I would say I'm not annoyed, but I would find it a little inconsistent, if that makes sense. Question 5 asks, deckled edges, beautiful or annoying? Hold on. So the 2 books that I own that have decked edges are Crime and Punishment and Siddhartha. And for Siddhartha, I think it's pretty cool. It is a little, you could kind of see there, it's a little inconsistent, especially what's going on over here. Crime and Punishment is more even. The thing I will say is kind of annoying is when, like with these annotations right here, it's hard to judge the depth of the page sometimes because I don't know if the tab is going to be sticking out farther enough or not. I like them. I don't mind them, but I can understand where people are like, oh, that's kind of weird. I think they add a little bit of rustic feel to it. That's what I think. Number 6, other people's annotations in used books or libraries. Annoying, or are you okay with it? Book people brought up a great point where you shouldn't be writing in library books anyway. So to that, I say it's annoying when it's in a library book. If it's a used book, that's a different story. You see that? I did a book pun, finally. We like to have fun here. If you're disappointed by finding somebody's annotations or underlying in a used book, you're kind of asking to be disappointed at that point. I think it's interesting when you stumble across that, right? Because you're sort of peering into somebody's mind in a way. They found a passage and that resonated with them. So I think it's fascinating. I don't think it would be annoying so much as like, why would they highlight that specific passage? Question 7, if there's a series or collection of certain kinds of books, like an imprint, and changes are made, are you annoyed? I don't think so. I think so. Like, actually, I think with Crime and Punishment, I understand the Oliver Ready translation is specific to the Penguin Classics Deluxe Edition. It's a great translation. I have the other translation on my Kindle, but I wanted the Oliver Ready translation because I heard it was really wonderful. I think that's the only area that I have experience in. Question 8, do the decisions of characters in a novel ever annoy you? Obviously, a character in a novel is a person, right? They do things their own way. They're people, generally, sometimes, most of the time. Unless they're alien. And in a way, sometimes that's what makes it interesting when a character makes a wrong decision or goes down a path that you're like, no, don't do that. What are you doing? It makes the narrative interesting, and there's a catharsis involved with it too. That's why we read. But I think maybe there might be a limit to that. A character can only be so blinded to what they have to do after to a certain point. A protagonist has to fail to a degree in order to rise to the occasion and succeed, because it wouldn't be interesting if a character constantly succeeded in what they were doing. I mean, you probably could make it interesting. It makes for better narrative when a character has failed. Question 9. Are you ever annoyed by how someone organizes their books? Listen, you do you. You organize the way you organize your books. I've been meaning to organize my bookshelf for a long, long time, so I have no room to talk with this. How do the color coding book people find what they're looking for? I'm actually genuinely curious. Like how long does it take for people when they're looking for a book to kind of be like, oh, is it that one? No, that's not it. I think it's aesthetically pretty. There was a person on an Instagram reel where they had a to be read pile. They wrapped all these books in paper, and they individually numbered them on the spine, and they put them on their bookshelf. And so as a way to sort of combat their to be read, they have a bowl of numbers. They pick a number, and whatever number correlates to whichever book is, they read that book regardless. They open the paper, and it's like, oh man, I got to read. It's this book. It's like Christmas or Hanukkah or whatever. It's your birthday, whatever you celebrate. And so I think in that regards, when people kind of game it up a little bit, that's interesting. But again, I'm in no position to judge people's organization. You do you, boo. Finally, we have share something bookish that you find annoying. With regards to books themselves, there is one, and that it's the use of songs, of poems and epigraphs. Stephen King is notorious for putting like a song at the beginning of each book or each part of the book. And I got to be honest with y'all, when I see the song, I'm like, cool. And when I flip the page, it's like it's out of sight, out of mind. Because I understand what he's trying to go for. The song is supposed to set the mood for the book, or this epigraph or poem is supposed to set the stage. I don't remember it sometimes. Is that a me thing? Is that something that you all relate to? Those book people also brought up an interesting thing, and I was going to do a video on this, highlighting this problem. These direct to publishing, Amazon direct publishing, where they format a book incorrectly. They'll be printing this type of book, but it'll have Pride and Prejudice on here, or Great Expectations using this. Not that there's anything wrong with this format of book, but this is a workbook. This is something that you're going to write in. It has a sort of stock of paper and such, and it's formatted in a way that accommodates that. You can't format a piece of literature on something like that. That's not a good look. I may do a video on this actually, because now I'm getting riled up about it. But it's not a good preservation of the work, and it also makes the publisher or whoever is putting this out, makes them look a little lazy, and I don't want to disparage any publisher who does that. I just want them to do better. I think I'm all out of things that annoy me on the book stuff. I probably missed some things. Maybe I'll make videos on those. So how did I do annoying wise? Was I annoying? Was I not annoying? Was I mid? Did I annoy you? I probably annoyed you. I feel like I'm annoying a lot of the time. Please let me know. Sound off in the comments. Am I annoying? Vote now on your phones. But thank you for watching. If you made it this far, please like, subscribe if you did. And if you'd like to join in on the Annoyed Booktube challenge, please feel free. I'll format the questions down below in the description. If you want to follow me on any social media, I'll include some of those on the bottom. I'm also on some reading apps. I'm on Goodreads. I'm on Fable, one of my favorites. Storygraph. All right, that's going to do it for me. I am going to finish my coffee here, and I'm going to go on with the rest of my day. Take care.